Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Mutsa. You know what, even if you're old, my name is Mutsa. I know I've been away for a while. Like I said in my previous video, I'm back, fingers crossed, you know, because sometimes life happens. But now I'm back, and today's video we are going to be talking about base makeup. We are going to be doing a perfect makeup base. This video is like a back to basics video, so it's good if you're a beginner. I'll show you step by step how to skin prep, foundation, contour, concealer, even powder. So if you're new, like I said, this is a good video for you. However, if you're an older to makeup, this is still a great video because number one, you get to learn new techniques if you don't know them and upgrade the existing techniques that you have. So all in all, this is a great video if you want to learn how to do your base. And I'm going to be using affordable makeup, so I'm going to keep things simple, keep things easy, and try and do makeup with things that are accessible to everyone. Number one, all these makeup things, all of them I got them from Discam or Clicks. So let's get into this. First step is prepping the skin. So I normally do half prepping or part prepping. So I'm going to start with the witch hazel and rose water. This one I got this from Discam. I'm going to just spray it on my face. This is nice for hydrating my face. I like this spray because it's good at hydrating my face. Right, my face was already cleaned. Okay, now that my face is dry, I think it's been sitting for like a minute 30 seconds. I did use my fingers to like help it a little bit. In my last video I showed you how I'm using this oil from Palmer's. I take one little pump and put it all over my face. Right, the products I'm using are the ones that work for me. You guys have to figure out what works for you. Right, I'm not saying buy the products I've been using, but do what works for you. If your skin is not sensitive, this is probably good. What you need to make sure that you have is your face is hydrated. You hydrate with any product that has a lot of water, because to hydrate is to put water in your skin. So that's what you want to start with. Another thing that I've been using, mainly because of the acne mainly because of the acne that's been recurring, is this. I normally start with this one, but I just wanted to start with the oil first since I'm putting on makeup. This little thing, I got this from Clicks. Right, this is for hydration. It is really good at hydration. And then I quickly put it all over my face. This is good so that you have a perfect canvas or a perfect base for your makeup, so that when you put on your makeup, it is nice and smooth. Right, that's what you want. We don't want your makeup to be ashy, to be cakey, or to be cracking, or to look thirsty. You want your skin quenched with the water. You want your skin really quenched with the water, really supple, really looking full and healthy like this. So this is what we have now. So I'm just gonna do my brows, come back, and then continue with this base makeup. Like I said, after you're done with your first step of preparing your skin, that is the normal skincare, the hydrating your skin, the moisturizing your skin, the sunscreen. If you put any kind of oils that are prescribed to you, whatever you put underneath your skin, you start with that. When you're done, before the foundation, you put your primer. Right, the next step is primer. Primer depends on the type of skin that you have. Right, if you have dry skin, you'd rather put a dewy primer. Right, if you have oily skin, you want a mattifying primer. If you have normal skin, you just put a normal primer. If you have combination skin, some people have a very oily T-zone, you can put primer everywhere else and then go back in with a mattifying primer and put it on your T-zone. It all depends with what kind of skin that you have. Right, I have normal skin, it's not oily, it's not dry, so I'm gonna go with this Fit Me primer. Right, primer is good because I was talking about the canvas earlier on. What primer does is it specifically this primer, it should have the effect of minimizing the size of your pores, right? So that when you put on your makeup is not sucked into the pores. It actually sits nicely on the skin, right? It also has the effect of extending the wear of your makeup. Like if you prime your face like this, right, if you put on your makeup early in the morning, it will last hours and hours and hours. Still on the primer, you don't have to put 2 or more primers. 1 primer is enough. But I also love using this Baby Skin Insta Pore Primer, also from Maybelline, this one. I love this one because the texture is so smooth. One, I do not really have enlarged pores, but I like the barrier that it creates, the smooth barrier it creates. The smooth barrier that it creates on my face, and it makes my foundation sit nicely. So I normally use this on my face. So I'm going to let all this sit for about 30 seconds to a minute, and then we'll come back and we'll go and apply the foundation. The next step for me is foundation. We should do a whole video surrounding foundation because there's a lot to learn. However, my advice to you is get a foundation that works for you. Right, there's a lot of things to learn about foundation. There is shades, there is undertone. Is it a dewy foundation? Is it a mattifying foundation? You have to know your undertones as well. So there's a whole lot you have to go through with foundation. This is the foundation. This is my favorite foundation of all time, the L'Oreal foundation, right? I'm going to put this. What I like about this foundation, like I always say, it oxidizes and I can work with it. It's beautiful, it's easy to use. This is how I apply my foundation, right? And this is just for control. I take the foundation, I put a few pumps on my hand, right? Like this. You don't have to do this, but in today's video, I'm gonna mix it with this one, right? The Catrice, this is the Catrice foundation. It's slightly dark, so I'm not gonna put a lot of it like this. I want to show you the difference in colors in these foundations and why I don't really use the Catrice foundation. So this is my favorite foundation. This is the Catrice foundation. They are 2 different colors. However, the one thing I love about the Catrice foundation is the finish that it has. It has a beautiful finish. So I'm just going to mix these 2 foundations. If you're struggling to get the foundation that works for you on the market, mix your foundations, right? This is the mixed foundation. I put it on my skin and then I take a brush and then I dab like this into the foundation, like this. Make sure it's all over the brush and then you go on your skin. The application of the foundation is really easy and it applies really smoothly like that. Do you see the color of the foundation? It's not my actual color, it's not a perfect match. However, I have learned how to make it work, so I use it nonetheless. And what I love about this combination of foundation is it covers my dark spots. Like I said, the foundations that I use, like the L'Oreal foundation, is a beautiful foundation. It means you can put it on in layers, right? So I've only put 1 layer of foundation. I'm sort of happy with it, but because the dark spots have been fighting a lot, I'm just gonna put 1 little light layer of the L'Oreal foundation. I'm going to start with on my forehead because you see, I didn't put a lot there and I don't like the coverage. I want it to be covered more. So we are just gonna go in with that foundation, not a whole lot. For concealer, I'll always be an early girl concealer girl like this. Guys, I think in the market a lot of concealers have come in and gone. They are viral, they are trendy, but the one that always stick is the LA Girl Pro Conceal. So the idea with concealer is you want to put it on your face so that it highlights your face, areas on your face that you want highlighted, right, or pronounced, right? So usually it's under here, right? I love using concealer because even if you have darker under eyes, you can use concealer to hide those dark under eyes. You can use it before your foundation. I don't really struggle with that, so I don't use concealer like that. So the shade of concealer that you want to use is a concealer that's at least 2 shades lighter. Some people go 1, but it all depends on the makeup look that you're going for. I go 2 to 3 shades lighter than what I'm actually, and I love how it looks. Once you have placed it on your face, you have to let it sit on your face for a minute or 2 so that it dries out and it gets tacky. Once it dries out, the coverage is full. You let it dry out because you want a fuller coverage, so you let it sit. Once we let it sit, I like doing my contour, and I'm going to do my contouring. Contouring, right? What contouring does is, number 1, you bring back color to your face, because once we blend all these colors on our face, you will look like you have like one shade on your face, just a blank canvas, and it's not true. If you look at your face without foundation on or without any makeup on, you will see that some areas of your face are darker, some areas of your face are lighter, right? Because that's how we're naturally created. So what we are doing with makeup is we are trying to mimic that with makeup. That's why we go in with contour. It also brings some warmth to your face, right? A contour is usually maybe 2 shades darker than your skin tone, because what contour does is sort of bring back, like it takes to the back, the areas that you put contour go to the back, right? You're creating shadows on your face, you're creating darkness on your face. Highlight, like we said, or concealer is you're bringing your features forward. With contour, you're bringing them back in, right? And for me, I'm using what you call it, a bronzing stick. This one is from Essence. It is called Baby Got Bronze. Everyone is using that. Everyone in their kit are using that. I just take it like this. You can use a dark foundation, you can use a foundation stick, you can use a dark concealer, whatever you have that's 2 to 3 shades darker than you, right? I usually put it on a brush like this. Make sure the whole brush is covered like this. Placement is important. So this is where I place my contour, right? My contour goes down here on my cheekbone here, right? I start from where my ear is here, and then I put it like this, blending upwards like this. I'm only gonna do it up until here on my face, right? And then I go down. I love going with my contour on my cheekbone so that I pronounce my cheekbone. Remember, we're giving shape to the face, we're giving depth to the face. I like going down like this, right? A tip: when you're doing your contour or your blush, do not distort your face. Do not make your face look unnatural. This, I mean, like because when you do that, your face moves. It's like doing your brows and you do this. This is not how naturally your face sits. So don't exaggerate your facial expressions when you're doing these things on your face. All right, if you see, I didn't put any concealer here, but I'm going to take the same brush and put the concealer here because there's a lot of product. I'm going to do the same here. We're gonna go back with the brush that we use for the contour, right? We want the harsh edges here. We want the blend to be seamless. We don't want to see harsh lines. So we are going back with that brush like this. See that? So that you see how harsh it is here. You can draw a line where the concealer stops and where the bronzer starts. And on this side, you really can't do that. That's what we want to do. We are going to just take a normal brush like this, a small eyeshadow brush, take a little bit, just a little of the product, right? And then we are going to contour our nose, right? We are going to start here. First and foremost, you want to ensure that you don't have creases under your eye where you're putting your powder, and a lot of people crease under the eye. So the idea is you look up and then you blend everything before you put your powder. So just going to blend. And then I have this brightener powder I got from Essence. It looks like a pressed powder, but it's actually white in color, right? I love this for highlighting my face. I'm going to be using this triangle puff. I don't know what you call it nowadays, but this one, I got this from Shein. Right, I'm going to take some of the product like this. We have this, and then we put some of it here so that there's not too much product, and then we go I love that. It works so well brightening my under eye, considering I don't use concealer that's that light. So I love using it under my eye like this. Make sure you're pushing it into your skin like this, right? And then with the remainder that's on the sponge, if you can see, my forehead is so shiny. Just gonna go put it here. So this is the translucent powder with the same sponge. I take a bit of product here, I take a bit of product like this, put it on your beauty blender, right in there.
Put your translucent powder here.
Remember how we put the cream contour here? We also need to set the contour, and I set my contour with my contouring powder from Switch Beauty. Remember, the contouring powder or the bronzing powder has to be darker than your skin shade, preferably match what you put there already. So with my contour palette like this one, I love using a brush, preferably a fluffy brush, right? I'm going to take from both sides of the pan. This is my favorite, but it's running out. But I'm just going to swirl it around like this and make sure I get all sides of the pan and dust off excess like this. Just a little bit so that we don't have too much product on the brush. And then we go where the contour is and I apply it in circles like this. And then we go down like this. See that? And then I make sure I get to the edge of my face like this so that there's a better transition, but like this.
In the hairline.
In the hairline is good because we want a nice transition between the hair and the makeup like this. We're at a good place. There's the contour, there's the highlight on both sides, but we don't leave it like this because we are not crazy. We are just gonna so what we want to do is, you see these hash lines, these have to go. These hash lines, how do we do that? We take our pressed powder in your skin tone. This powder has to be the same color as your actual skin, right? Like I said, this is an old one and it broke, so bear with me. With a fluffy dense brush, this is what you want to use when you're putting on your face powder, and then you just swirl it in there. Same concept, you don't want too much powder on your thingy, on your brush, so you tap off any excess like this. And then remember, when you place your brush on your face, you start on the places where you want a high concentration of the powder. So you start by lightly, right? And then you go to here where there is the contour and the highlight, you lightly. Do you see how the transition is perfect? Oh my word, this is beautiful. There is a nice one. There's no hash line here, unlike this side. There is no hash line here. with the same brush, we go up here, do the same thing, make sure there are no harsh lines of transition, and then here make sure there are no harsh lines here. Okay, so we are done with our base. The next time, remember, want to bring depth into the face, and we are going to do that by putting in blush. Today I'm going to use this one. I'm going to use this pink. They are highly pigmented. I got this one at Discam. I think it was less than 30 rand, right? Tap off the excess and then go to the apples of your cheek. That's why I'm old school. I put my blush on the apples of my cheek and I blend it out. See that pigment? I'm going to do it to this side as well. Then just right, there's slightly too much blush there. What do? You take the brush that you use for your powder, don't even dip anywhere in, and just go there and diffuse the color like this. See, magic. And then just diffuse the color like this. So this is the face. The contour is there, the blush is there. This is the base. This is what you ideally want your face to look like, just a basic base for you. And then the next step is setting spray. I am using this setting spray from Yardley. You know, I've been using this for years. What I love about setting spray is at this point our face has a bunch of dust from the powders that we're putting on. I want everything to sit together, to blend in together, to sit seamless in my skin. I achieve that by setting spray. Right, this is my setting spray. First pump is always for testing. Now we are letting this setting spray dry out for a bit, and then we do our eyeshadow and then we come back. Okay, so this is the final look. Okay, I'm pretty happy with how this turned out rather, and I hope you can see the vision. Thank you so much guys for joining me in this video. Hopefully you learned something, and I hope to see you again next week for another video. For now, it's toodaloos.